Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been following the NFL, you know that the NFC East is anything but predictable this season. The division has been buzzing with rumors, trades, and strategic moves. But what's really catching everyone's attention right now is the possibility of something that could shake things up even more, especially for the Washington Commanders. And no, I'm not talking about just another free agent signing or a draft pick. We're talking about a potential blockbuster trade that might just redefine the balance of power in this division. Imagine, for a moment, a scenario where the New York Giants, who have been struggling to find consistency and are several years away from being true playoff contenders, decide to make a bold move. And that move, trading one of their most talented young pass rushers, Kayvon Thibodeaux, to the Commanders. Yes, I know, sounds wild, but hear me out because this is more than just a rumor. This could be a strategic chess move, not just for the Giants, but for Washington as well. Thibodeaux, the former number 5 overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, has shown flashes of brilliance in his first 3 seasons. He's a player with elite athleticism, a relentless motor, and the potential to be one of the top pass rushers in the league. In 2023 alone, he racked up a career-high 11.5 sacks, bringing his total to 21 sacks over those 3 seasons. That's impressive for a young player still developing. But what makes him even more enticing for the Commanders is his potential to be a true game-changer on the edge. Right now, the Commanders have a decent pass rush, but they lack that elite, game-wrecking presence that can consistently threaten quarterbacks and open up opportunities for their secondary. They've made some solid additions on defense, but the edge rush has been a bit of a question mark. So bringing in Thibodeaux could be a game-changer, giving them that extra burst of speed and power they need to elevate their pass rush to the next level. And let's not forget, the Giants, despite their struggles, still see Thibodeaux as a player with high upside. They exercised his 5th-year option worth approximately $75 million, which shows they believe in his potential. If they're willing to trade him, it could be because they see better long-term options or want to rebuild in other areas. And for the Commanders, acquiring him could be a strategic move to maximize their window of contention, especially if they're looking to solidify their defensive front for a playoff push. Now, this isn't just about filling a need, it's about making a statement. The Commanders have the assets, the cap space, and the desire to make a splash. They've shown this before with recent trades. Remember last year when they traded for Jahan Dotson from the Eagles? That move was about building for the future, while also making a statement that they're serious about competing. And this potential Thibodeaux trade could be just the next chapter in their ongoing quest to become a serious playoff contender. But let's dig a little deeper into what such a trade could look like, and what it would mean for the NFC East and beyond. The Giants, as I mentioned, might be motivated to move Thibodeaux if they see a better fit elsewhere, or if they want to recoup draft capital to rebuild their roster. They could look for a package that includes draft picks or even a player in return, especially someone who can fill a need elsewhere on their team. The Commanders, for their part, might opt to include a player or two in the deal, perhaps someone at a position they're already deep at, to sweeten the pot and lessen the draft capital they're giving up. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that the trade market for edge rushers is heating up. We've seen teams like the Bengals, with Trey Hendrickson, and others floating around as potential targets. The market is competitive, and the price for a player like Thibodeaux might not be as steep as some think, especially if the Giants are motivated to move on. They might be looking at a mid-round pick or a young player with upside, rather than a first-rounder. And it's worth noting the strategic importance of this move for the Commanders. They've been building a solid roster, but the pass rush has been a bit inconsistent. Adding Thibodeaux could be the piece that turns their defense into an elite unit. It could also send a message to the rest of the league that Washington is serious about contending and willing to make bold moves to get there. Plus, a trade like this would continue their recent pattern of division trades, as they did with Jahan Dotson last year, showing they're not afraid to make deals within the NFC East to improve their team. But what about the broader picture? Well, if the Commanders manage to land Thibodeaux, they could be a real dark horse in the NFC playoff race. Their defense would become more aggressive, more disruptive, and more capable of shutting down high-powered offenses. That could be the difference in close games and critical playoff matchups. And for Thibodeaux himself, this move could be a career-defining opportunity, going from a promising young player to a franchise cornerstone. Imagine him lining up with the likes of Montez Sweat and Chase Young, if he's still with the team, forming a formidable trio that opposing quarterbacks would fear every week. Now, I want to pause here for a second because this is all speculation, but it's grounded in real strategy and real potential moves. The NFL trade deadline is approaching, and teams are already making calls, weighing options, and planning their next steps. The Commanders are in a unique position. They have the draft capital, the cap space, and the desire to make a statement. If they pull it off, it could be a game changer not just for their season, but for the entire division. And remember, this division is so competitive because all four teams are capable of surprising everyone, but a move like this could tilt the balance even further in Washington's favor. As we look at the current state of the team, the depth chart, and the recent performances, it's clear that the Commanders are on the cusp of something big. They have a talented core, a solid quarterback in Sam Howell, and a defense that's been developing nicely. But to truly contend, they need that extra push, that game-changing talent that can make the difference in tight games. Thibodeaux could be exactly that piece. And let's not overlook the fact that the NFL is a league where bold moves often define the season. Teams that are willing to take risks, to make strategic trades, are the ones that often end up in the Super Bowl. The Commanders, with their recent investments and the potential of acquiring a player like Thibodeaux, might just be on the verge of making that leap. It's the kind of move that could send shockwaves through the NFC East and beyond, putting the Commanders firmly in the conversation for a deep playoff run, and who knows, maybe even a Super Bowl appearance. Now for the fans out there, I know you're probably thinking about what this means for your team's future. Will it happen? That remains to be seen, but what's clear is that the possibility is real and exciting. The NFL offseason, especially as it approaches the trade deadline, is always filled with surprises, and this could very well be one of the biggest. The Commanders are no strangers to making bold moves, and if they pull this off, it could be one of the most significant trades in recent franchise history. And finally, I want to talk about the broader implications. If Washington pulls the trigger, it could set a precedent for how aggressive they're willing to be in pursuit of contention. It sends a message that they're no longer just building, they're competing. And in the NFL, that's what it's all about. Competing, winning, and building a legacy that lasts. The NFC East is a battleground, and with each move, each trade, every game, the stakes get higher. So, as we keep an eye on the latest rumors and updates, remember that the NFL offseason is a time of strategy, intrigue, and bold decisions. The Commanders are certainly in the thick of it, and their next move could be the one that defines their season. Whether this trade materializes or not, one thing is clear. Washington is showing they're ready to make a statement, and we, as fans, should be excited about what's coming next. This division is about to get even more interesting, and the Commanders are right in the middle of the action. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster? Do you believe the team should go all in for Thibodeaux? Would you prefer a different target? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more insights, and everything you need to stay ahead in the NFL world. The Commanders are on the move, and we're right here with you, covering every step of the way. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep this conversation going.